Good day, folks. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm looking at the cleaning of a very old lady's watch. I don't even know the brand of it. It's like CLOE or something like that. Anyway, it's a 17 jewel watch. It says in the back that it's gold plated, so I don't think it's of high value, but the individual that I got it from is, I believe it was his grandmother's given to his daughter. So it means something to them. So based on that, I've got my black gloves on today. So we're going to keep, I'm going to try not to say so often. So anyway, so this is an interesting, the strap is actually screwed on, which is kind of cool. I'm going to try to use these gloves to work with. And normally I don't use gloves, but I do when it's someone else's watch and I don't want to put fingerprints on it. I probably don't need this for disassembly, but I'm going to do it anyway. Makes it look more official anyway. So and these gloves are good for everything. They get a bit of a tactile feel on them. So I'm just removing the bar here to remove the strap, and have a look at this watch on the inside and see what I've got to deal with. So just being very careful here. It's a very small watch. I hate working on ladies' watches, by the way, just in case you were wondering. They're a PIA. You guys know what PIA means, right? And it's because they're so darn small. That's why I work on pocket watches, folks. But the gentleman that gave it to me had this look on his face like, you really need to do this. And it was I had already done a lady's pocket watch for a lady's watch for his wife years ago, and it got him points, I think. So he gave me that look, and I went, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And what I'll do with this later on is I'll put this in the ultrasonic cleaner to clean it, and it'll get rid of all the dirt and grime, and then this is plated though, gold plated. Usually, if it's stainless steel, I'll use my Dremel tool with the right brush on it, and I'll get rid of all the scratches. But it's gold plated, and there's a bit of design on here, so I don't really have to worry about getting rid of the scratches on that side. So it's an engraving or a pressed engraving, something like that. So it's an interesting old watch. Don't know if it's working or not. Another interesting part of this watch is it only has one hand. Now, when I talked to the guy, he said, I think it's just one of them there one-hand watches. I was like, well, I've never heard of that before. So anyway, you can only tell what hour it is, not with minute. So I'll end up finding another hand for this watch, and replacing that too. So these watches usually kind of would, all the words I hate using when I'm talking, but I use them anyway. You just wedge a little screwdriver in here, and it usually pops the thing up a bit like that, and then you do it on the other side, and there's a little indent tab in there that snugs it into place, and then you very carefully do it on the other side too. I may have to adjust my video so that it stays in focus. Hopefully it's staying in focus. I'm going to play teeter-totter with this movement, I think. No, it's out on that side. That's good. The problem with I have wearing gloves is I can't get my fingernail in there, which would normally help me. So just put the screwdriver in there and then rotate, and then should be able to just take this out now. Actually, I can use my fingernails here. So there we go. So now the back is off. That's the back. That's what that looks like there. And does it say anything in the back? It says, congratulations, you bought me. No, there's nothing in the back. And again, there's dirt in there that I'll get rid of with an ultrasonic cleaning. There's the movement there. And I just have to hold the stem here and pull the movement out. And what I do, you know, I'm cheating a bit here. I like to tell you when I'm cheating, but I already took this movement out before, and I try to keep my fingers away from the escapement here, because it's, or not the escapement, but the balance here, because it's not wise to touch the balance. But I had a look at it. It does move, which is nice, and it stops. Now if I wind it, it might start ticking again. But I'll leave it unwound for now, that way I can disassemble it. And I did take Rodico, and I worked on the face with Rodico, and I just scraped the face with Rodico and some pith wood, like a stick, and just get all the grime off the face. I didn't remove the letters on the top, they were gone already, and it's got that infamous one hand, which is amazing. So a watch, a one-handed watch, very rare, I'd say. And I don't know if this is going to fit in here or not, but I'll try. I want to make sure that these, again, I want to make sure that this, the balance is not going to get fouled up by anything here when I put this inside here. So it's a pain in the ass working on these. They're too small. Should have said no. Should have said no. You know what? I got to take the stem out. Got to take the stem out. Let me just use this, flip this around like so. And then I'm going to look for where the stem screws are here on this watch. And let me see. We got, this baby is so small. I may have to take these gloves off because they're not going to help me with, I'll be cleaning the watch anyway and maybe put the gloves back on later. So there's a stem screw right there. So there's two of them holding the, not stem screw, but this is holding the face on one side, and the other one is right here holding the face off. And then to take the stem off, out, there's a screw right here, and I will pull this out to like that, which is the time setting position, and get yet another really small screwdriver in here. And I'm gonna have to take these gloves off, but I can't work the screwdriver with the glove on, but I can hold the movement with it on, so it's no problem. So let me just see. I'd normally put this inside a movement holder, but it's too friggin' small. My friend, I'm going to give him shit when I see him next time, because I'm going to say, why did you make me do this? Yeah, that's right. So I should be able to unscrew that, and then the stem should come right out. There we go. So that stem is out, and then I'll screw this in just a bit more so I don't lose a screw. And so there's that. And just so I don't want to damage the balance at all on this thing. So I'm going to take the balance and balance cock. I'm going to take that out right now, and that way I don't, there's not this risk of fouling the balance, which is something I would not want to do. I'm just holding the sides here and putting a little bit of pressure on the screw to do this. So it's like surgery. These things are so small. Okay, that's the screw there. So I want to keep the balance and the screw together, right? Now this balance should just come out. I'm going to use a very small screwdriver to pry it a bit. And because it's so light, I should just be able to lift it out of place. That would be on top. There's two posts, one here and one here, on either side of where the screw is held. And you just have to put your screwdriver underneath the posts and wiggle it like so. And I just try to loosen it up a bit. And then I should be able to grab, I should balance in the balance cock as one piece, like so. Put that down for a second. And I'm going to turn it around on the mat and then lay it down. There we go. So the balance is out. This is the balance of the situation, as they say. Now I'm going to take a quick photo of the movement, and this is just for reference in case I'm stupid and I can't remember where things go or whatever, but I'll just take a quick photo of the movement, and there we go. And it's pretty simple, I believe, so it shouldn't be a big issue here. So now what I'm going to do is take the face off, and I don't have to worry about fouling up the balance and all that kind of crap now. So first thing to do is remove that hand, a single hand. I need a piece of plastic to put over that. I should have this ready. It's a piece of plastic so I don't foul the face. And then I will put these little hand removers on either side of the plastic, dig underneath, and then you pop up like that. And that removes the hand. And I can grab those with my tweezers very carefully, and then move this over here. And I learned a long time ago with small watches, you actually have to control your breathing, because you can end up breathing too much and you'll breathe the watch right off. Which is like crazy to think of that, but it's true. You will breathe parts from one side to the other. And let me see if this screw will catch here for me. Alright, so that loosened on that side. I'm removing the face, so there's posts on the inside of the face that keep the face on. I'm trying to find them both. There's one here. I don't know if I'm in focus anymore, but I can't. It's too late to flip it. There's one there, and I don't want to lose these screws either. And there was one on the other side I already loosened, I believe. And I will just wedge the screwdriver underneath here to see if I can remove the face, which it seems like it's coming up and off. There we go. And there's the back of it. It's in fairly good condition. Not bad. So let's just put this face aside over here. And then I got to look at this here. So I'm going to take those screws, the face screws, and put them back in, as I'm worried that I will lose them. So I got to find them again. These little buggers are tough to find. So there's one here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll just keep going. There's one little screw here, and that's in there, and then there should be one screw on the opposite side. There it is there. That's in already, I think. Alright, so that's that. Then I've got to expose the cannon pinion. So I'm going to take off the, this is like a brass, this little bent brass washer is used to hold the hour gear down over the cannon pinion, which is moving the minutes, right? So you take that off, and then put that aside. I could zoom in on this too, so you guys can see what's going on. I don't have much time because I'm doing this over lunch, so I'm a good boy. I work during work hours and try to make sure I don't mix both of them up. So that's it there. So I just took the washer off, and then there is the hour wheel. I'll put that next to the washer, so that'll be cleaned later. And then I've got the cannon pinion, which I should just be able to lift straight up with my screwdriver. See how easy that is. That didn't work. Let me look at that cannon pinion again. Yeah, there's a groove in the cannon pinion, which just grab the tweezers underneath that groove and pull straight up. And if I can't grab it with that, I do have a pair of cannon pinion removers that might help and might not help. That also didn't work. So let me just, did that come off, or did I? No, that's not off yet. What's weird is that it feels like it's off, and it's so friggin' small. Yeah, got to grab it a little harder and pull, but it's going to be tough to get off. Yeah, it's still not off. I'm going to have to see if I can get the cannon pinion remover and remove that cannon pinion, because that's going to be tough. Let me just pause for a second here. Alright, new technique. So what I did was I had a vintage pair of these, I'm not sure what you call them, but they're pliers or something. But what you do is I open the mouth up on these, right? Like so. That's the cannon pinion there. Eee! Put that down here. So small. I think it's magnetized. Another thing is I got to make sure I've demagnetized this stuff, but it is magnetized. So that's the cannon pinion. I'll put it over here. And what I did is I took these, and they've got a little tiny gap in the mouth here, and they're made for turning screws on the balance. So when you're doing work on a balance, you basically turn the screw with these. So they're pretty handy for that. So I took that, and you slide this along the edge here, and it just tightens it like crazy, which is good. And then I took the movement, held it, and pulled straight back, and that got rid of the cannon pinion. Because sometimes the cannon pinions are very hard to take off sometimes, especially when the watch has never been serviced or serviced rarely. So the cannon pinion is out now, so that's good. And then what have I got left here on this side? I will leave this side alone for a second. I've got a jewel over here that needs to be done, and let me just look at the other side here, because I can remove some of these plates now. So I'll remove this main plate here. Just make sure I took a picture of this earlier, so I can remove this main plate. Now I probably put this back in the movement holder so I can get a grip on this stuff, right? And also it gives space for the cannon pinion to go through the center. So, but I might have to refocus. So I'm not sure if I can do that well. Yeah, I can. Look at that. So it's still running and I'm focusing all at the same time. Doing a manual focus. Now if I zoom out a bit, that's the focus. Apply, 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 and then I'll zoom back just a bit like that, and then back to work. Oh, I only have 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left. And I got a meeting, so I'm hoping I'll be able to strip this down in 20 minutes. Well, that didn't work. Another thing I should tell you is that when you're removing parts from the watch, even if you tighten it up a bit, you're going to have issues because of the size of this thing. So when you press here, the other side will pop out. So it's good to have a little bit of leverage. So put a little weight on this side here, like so, and then make sure there's enough pressure on the screw to be able to remove the screw. And I'll group the screws in the plate. Okay, that screw fell inside the movement. Let's see if I can get that out. There it is there. I always say this, but it's actually difficult to do this work while videotaping. So there's another screw I've got to remove, like that. Try to have good control of your screwdrivers. Now, I didn't do much watch repair all summer because I was busy fishing and doing other things, so my screwdriver control is probably not as good as it used to be. This here screw, I'm not sure if that's a screw or not, but no, look at that. So that screw is embedded in the face on the other side. So I can lift this up now, and I should be able to remove some of the components here. So there's that face. I'll group it with the screws here, and then the center wheel should come right up. I'm going to take a photo first, which I shouldn't need to take a photo because I know how these things come together. So, but I always do. So there we go. And you can refer to that later on. So I grab the pivot on the end here and pull it straight up. So it should, if with any luck, it's going to come up. It's in there really good. I don't have any luck, I guess, because it didn't come straight up. I'm looking at this and it's sort of sideways. Yeah, hopefully there's still, there we go. So there's the center wheel, which is wheel number 2, and then the intermediate wheel here. Intermediate wheel, and then fourth wheel, which should have the second hand on the bottom, but there's no second hand on this watch. And then I should be able to take out the let's come out, escapement. There we go. I'm trying to be as careful as possible. So I stripped all that off. I'm not sure if my sequence is the same as you'd do it, but so be it. That's it. And I got to take out the pallet fork, but I think I'll remove the mainspring barrel first. Get that done and out of the way. We still seeing stuff here, or we just got no light at all? We're gonna light this baby up. Light this baby up. You light up my life. There we go. Move over a bit. Camera's too close. I might do this in 2 parts as well. So this is part 1 of disassembling of the ladies' watch. Ladies and gentlemen. You can also, when you remove a screw, just use a piece of Rodico and you grab that baby like that. See how easy that is? And you put it down on the mat. It's actually a lot easier than grabbing it with your screwdriver, because sometimes if you grab it with your screwdriver, that thing will fly. And you don't want that to happen. So I got to make sure I got pressure again when I turn this. And there we go. So that's out perfectly. I'll grab it with my screwdriver and my very well-trained hands. And again, I can pry the plate up here, right under there. Just get your screwdriver in there and then start prying at an angle. And it should come right off. Unless you're shitty, you can't do it. But sometimes there's a groove that will help. I'm trying to think of what I did wrong here. I didn't do anything wrong. The thing popped right up. Alright, so that's the plate for the mainspring, and then the mainspring just comes right up. There we go. And so that's stripped down. And on this side, I just have the pallet fork to remove. Not sure if you can see that. That's not, space got to get a better angle here and zoom in maybe. What do you think? Does that make more sense? A little more light. And there's the angle. There's an angle there. And so I get in there with the screwdriver, make sure the screwdriver blade is in place before I apply pressure. And especially here, if you slip on that screw, I'm going to use a piece of Rodico to pick this guy up. If you slip on that screw and it hits the pallet fork, you're in big trouble. And the size, if you look at the size of this screw here, that's pretty friggin' small. I don't want to lose that, definitely. How many more minutes to my meeting? 13. But I'm ready. Damn it. I'm ready. Okay. I tried grabbing it that way and it didn't work. There we go. That's the bridge for the pallet fork. And let me just grab this pallet fork here. And there we go. I got these put in place. That's what it looks like now. And then I've got, if I flip it over, I don't believe I got everything else on the other side. This is all good. I do have to deal with I got to deal with the jewels after, the cap jewels in there. So I think this is, see, do I have any springs in here? I have to take a picture of this first, because reassembling this is going to be a PIA. Let me clean it all in place as well, which I've done before on these, because they're so small I don't want to, there's no need to take them apart sometime, because it's just the winding mechanisms. So I know I'll get all kinds of calls. Anyway, I think I'll stop here. What else do I have here? There's nothing here. This is some kind of a, what is that? That is something. Not sure what that is. That was a bridge. What was the bridge for? Is that for the balance? No. And that's a spring right here. So this is a spring and a screw. I'll have to look up and see what that's for. Because that is, yeah, just after the, must be, I think that is to put pressure. Look at that. So that's to put pressure on the mainspring. So that holds the mainspring. There's a ratchet on the bottom, and that controls, that's a spring for the ratchet. So when that goes back in place, it rides in there, and then it's the arbor goes down and the ratchet sets in place. So that's how that works. So I got to make sure I put that back the right way. So that's what that's for. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. I didn't know there was a ratchet in the bottom of the mainspring, so I have to take into consideration that when I put it back together again, because there's a small spring right there, and that puts pressure on the ratchet, and that moves in this direction here, as you can see. It moves like so. I'm not sure if you can even see this. My gloves are in the way. Yeah, there we go. There it is there. So I'll show you here. That's basically like this, and that puts pressure when you're winding the mainspring, so the mainspring doesn't go back the other way. So it's kind of a unique design. So I got to keep an eye on that. So I'll be able to wash this movement. It's so small, I just want to make sure that the pivots are washed and everything. And I'll be examining the screws themselves, right, to make sure that there's no jewels. I said screws, I meant jewels, but I'll be examining the jewels as well to make sure there's no issue with the jewels. So that's that. So let me go over the top of this thing again, and hopefully it's pretty much in focus there. So I got this side here, and I've got the other side there. So that's what I've got there. And I probably won't bother taking apart the keyless. It looks pretty clean. And just make sure that it works and it's lubricated. But I will be examining all of the jewels, and I've got the bounce jewel, cap jewel on the top and bottom, and I got to take those out and clean them and put them back. That is going to be the hardest job of all, I think. So before I reassemble the whole thing. And there's the pieces so far that I need to deal with. So don't lose any. There they are. Don't lose any. So I'll call this phase 1 of ladies' watch repair. Again, not my favorite job doing a ladies' watch. They're actually not valued very high because ladies don't collect watches. So, but again, I'll clean this off, and I can clean the whole movement here and use lighter fluid to clean this whole watch movement, and it'll come out nicely. So that's it for now, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. I'll post this video, and then we'll post. It's only half an hour long, but we'll post the second one later. If I get brave, I might undo some of the click springs and stuff like that, but really there's no need. And I don't want to lose them. If I lose them, I am screwed. So talk to you later. Thanks for watching.